Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Today we are back on Rust, but this video is a little bit different because my audio files and everything messed up. So I had game sound playing at different intervals, meaning some clips were at 5 seconds off, some were at 3, so I had to go back through and change all those back to normal, as well as my mic recorded itself over 3 times in different timings on the same track. So I don't know what happened, but anyways, I fixed it all up and we are here. So let's get into the video. So I noticed it's been a while since I made a cave base, so today's whole video was based on the idea of making a very strong and cozy cave base once again. And actually the last time I made a cave base video was almost over a year ago, I have to say. I'll pop the video up on screen right here. But yeah, so let's get the foundation down and get into it. Now I ended up making it so that every triangle, or every foundation was a triangle. This makes it a little more costly to raid, and makes it so it's a little bit more of a fun build. It's kind of fun trying to figure out how to place stuff inside of all these triangles rather than having the convenient square foundations. And while I was building, I ended up hearing someone run up. Now I wasn't sure if there was someone actually out there, so I peeked through the sides of my door, still didn't see anyone, but I was sure I heard someone. And I ended up building the base in a way that you can't just jump in, so I'm able to hit him there, but he has to crouch jump in, which he was not aware of, and I actually made it so that it kind of stopped him from going deep on me, which is nice. Now the funny thing about this is I was playing on a 2x server, and I figured with me just building the base I'd be seeing that guy quite a bit more, but that was actually the only time I think I ever encountered that guy in my entire day. So, we went out, got some more kills, farmed up some more loot, and got back to the building. Once I ran out of resources, I had to go back out once again, try to get some scrap so that we could build the basic stuff. Get the workbench down, get the furnaces and everything going, and yeah. And as I was running out of the fishing village, I ended up seeing a guy getting shot by turrets, which means he doesn't have the safe zone, and I ended up just killing him for fun here. There was no other reason. I just wanted to do it just to annoy him. And with my farming run done, I was able to do exactly what I had said, making up our workbench and getting the base a little bit more put together. Now with cave bases, since they're so hard to raid with only being one entrance in, and it's all to the disposal of the cave base owner, there's no other sides that you can attack, it just has to be that one side. So, I think it's very important when you're building cave bases to make sure you get your defenses up fast. So, you'll notice I'm trying to rush and rush and rush to get the cave built up and stronger, meaning blocking off the drop in so somebody can't just drop down, get picked up, and get fully into the base. At the end of my building, I ended up hearing some people taking the underground train tracks and trying to load up their inventories, and obviously anybody who's played Rust knows that the subways are very, very good for scrap. So I figured this would be my best bet and easiest way to get scrap. And boy, oh boy, was I right. This guy actually had enough stuff on him that if I recycled this all, it would be enough to get me through my entire wipe day. So, that's exactly what we did. We ended up looting this guy fully up, healing all the way, as well as, I mean, he gave us 4 guns to start off with, which is huge. And to catch him off guard like that, it couldn't have gone any better. So I dropped back into the base with all the loot, sorted out what I needed, what I didn't, and ended up making my way over to the Lighthouse. The Lighthouse was a closer run to the fishing village, but the only thing was I obviously wasn't safe there, so I had to stay on the lookout. And, I mean, this stuff takes quite a while to recycle it down. But I was able to get it done, came back with the second run of stuff, and same thing, really no issues overall. Once I made it back to base and depoted my second run, I actually ended up hearing a guy running around farming. So that was another nice little chunk of change to keep my base going. But after that, once again, I heard people down beneath, ran down, and couldn't find them. Well, they actually ended up dying to the scientists, so there was just a backpack of loot there. So I ran back to recycle everything, and this is where our first big issue started. And for everyone wondering why you never see me running around with an M92, that is exactly why. I hate that pistol. I think that is one of the worst pistols in the game. The amount of recoil on it feels like there's more recoil than an AK. And I mean, it really shows within these clips. I pick up the P2, and I mean, look at the accuracy. 10 bullets versus 15 bullets and less damage. Sadly, this wasn't enough though, and they lived so close that this guy was able to somehow see me through the grass here and hit 3 arrow shots in a row, taking me down. And with that, I decided to take a break from the PvP and let the area cool down a bit so there wasn't as many rats in the area. And again, I really wanted to get my base upgraded and get it feeling a little more cozy, so that's exactly what I did. It's really important to note that when you're playing solo, you should really take your time. If you keep dying over and over, you're just losing loot. It's better to take a break if you can, build up your base, or do some sorting of the inventories and get stuff put together and ready so that hopefully when the area dies back down, you can start with a fresh mind and get back into the groove a little bit easier. But I also found it was pretty fun building this cave base because I was able to put it in a way that you really have to know that your way around the base and everything is up and down, crouch jumping around, so it made it work really well and made it feel a lot safer because I know if I was raiding this, I would have no clue which way to go. But now I basically have 3 full walls to my TC built in to this base. And if you want to go through doors, there's even more. So, yeah. After finishing the second to last cave base expansion or setting up or defenses, I decided to get back out there and try to get some more kills and get some more loot. It's a lot easier killing people for loot than it is taking the time to farm it. So, we went back out and once again found a hot spot for PvP. Now although I died, I was able to run back and get some scraps off the bodies, as well as farm on the way over, back to Fishing Village, to where I could safely recycle and get the final components ready to finish off the base. And the final component being the cozy factor. You gotta make sure your base is cozy, especially when you're in a cave. It gets lonely down there. Before finishing the cave base though, I decided to make up some pump shotguns with slugs to test if they were still as good as they used to be. And well, I was not disappointed, let me tell you that. After reloading the furnaces and putting all the loot away, I decided to head out for one last little roam into the area and see if I couldn't collect up some more stuff before finishing off the base. I mean, you gotta have a full base to upgrade it, am I right? You can't just be upgrading your base with 3 boxes in there and a row of loot. You gotta make it worth it, and I was able to find this nice decaying wood base, which to my surprise, I actually had a lot more stuff than I was expecting, and this definitely gave me a good boost as to what I needed for the base with being scrap and other resources. So it's always nice to explore and keep an eye on those bases around you, because you never know which ones are decaying. And the funny thing is, this guy's full base was wood, but he could have easily upgraded it to stone. So you never know what's inside of a base. I think that's the key to Rust, is getting rid of the people and the bases that you haven't seen active in a while. Because either they're going to be really rich and how to get off, or they're going to be pretty poor. And, I mean, these little bases take nothing to raid, so why not? I think you'll find that there's more surprise in the little wooden bases and stuff than you would initially think. Now I decided to run back out with Molly's and see once again if I could find any little bases to raid. This was the point in time that I felt like I had a pretty good start. It was more about just filling up boxes and inventories. And I mean, who doesn't want a PvP? When you have the guns and you have the loot, go out there. Get some fun times, get some good kills. That's what this game's all about. Now sadly, it was just a garage door behind the door. I figured if there's a wood door on top, there might be wood doors throughout, but I was wrong. Now, one thing I have noticed about using the pump shotgun is as soon as you whip it out, people get so scared that they usually don't fight back. They just start running away. So, it allows for a lot of good and easy kills. And like I said before, it's always important to check on bases, because this one, 3 health out of 500, and like I said, they're either going to be really good, or they're going to be bad. But look, it costs nothing to get in here. A little bit of jackhammer durability that I'll just repair at the workbench. Now, although this wasn't an absolute jackpot, it did still give us a little bit of gear and a little bit more of a help, more stuff than I had before, so that's all that matters, is at least I got something out of this. Now after seeing how easy it was to get a SAR, I decided to take this back to base and actually get the stuff to make up a little FOB in the area. Apparently this area was poppin' and these guys had guns that they did not know how to use, and all that means in my eyes is free loot. So I set up this simple wooden shack. Who knew these things could be so useful? But I wasn't sure if it took a door or not, so I brought one with anyways. But now we have a nice place to respawn, somewhere that we can hide in. And yeah, it's not the greatest, but it's a nice, easy respawn point, so it's worth it. Now I caught those guys going in here quite a few times, coming in and out with guns, so I figured this might be a little hidden stash. And remember what I said earlier about accuracy with the P2? I mean, look at that. I hit like 6 shots in a row. I could not do that with the M92. Now, although this base did end up just being the starts of a farm base, or at least what it looks to be, I did end up getting 2 Tommies out of it. So, once again, although it took 2 or 3 mollies, I got 2 Thompson kits, so it's all worth it. Now if you guys are confused about what's going on here, I ended up taking about an hour just working my way into this guy's base, but sadly after breaking out I decided to depot once again and he resealed the whole base. So it wasn't really worth it, but it was fun. Now cargo was coming back around and ended up stopping at the harbor, which I was right next to, so I decided to take a peek and see what I could get going, see if maybe nobody had taken harbor or cargo yet. And yes, that is correct. What you just saw was a Bernarly buckshot shotgun doing 60 damage from 19 meters away, killing me in one shot. After dying to an auto turret sitting in a bush with a python, I decided that was a good time to end off my wipe. But instead of just ending it in any way, leaving my base to decay with all my loot to disappear to no one's worth, I decided to run back to Zion's base and actually bag him in, giving him the base and all the loot. Whether he would use it or not was up to him, but it's better to let somebody have the loot and enjoy the rest of their wipe than just leave it to diminish. Plus, this guy was a really good sport. With me out there messing with him, stealing kits and stuff, he never ended up rage quitting, so I rewarded him. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. It definitely took a while and some pain and suffering, but in the end, we got it out, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you comment about how cool of a dude Zion is for making it all the way through a wipe with someone pestering him. But without further ado, have a good night.
I see you next wipe, and you probably fuck me in the ass.